Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Interviews with Entrepreneurs. Today, I'm very excited to introduce you to Rachel. Rachel, will you please tell us a little bit more about yourself and about your business?
Hi, thanks, Melanie. Thank you for this opportunity to be on your show. And I'd also like to say thank you for all the other interviews you've done, because I did some homework and I've picked up such a lot from the other entrepreneurs that you've interviewed. And it's so nice to know you're not alone. Someone else had that same experience. And I
Oh,
just think it's a wonderful, so thank
yay!
you.
Yay! Thanks for that feedback. That's great.
Cool. As you know, my name's Rachel, and I have a line of products called Rachel's Garden. They're all about skincare, natural skincare. I do a shampoo bar, I do deodorant, anything that you would apply to your skin. It's called Rachel's Garden because originally I had an iris nursery, which was called Rachel's Garden. And when that died a sad death due to kudus and porcupines and droughts, I started the natural skincare, and everybody knew me as Rachel's Garden. So it just made sense to call this Rachel's Garden as well. But to tell you a bit about myself, I studied biochemistry and then realized I didn't want to spend my life in a laboratory. I'm an outdoor person. So I went back and picked up my botany, and I ended up getting a doctorate in botany. Married my husband, who's also a botanist, and came to the farm, which is in the middle of nowhere in the Karoo. So very harsh climate. It's very, very hot in summer. It's very cold, very dry, all the bad things for your skin. And since I was a child, I've always had a dry skin. So I've always been using body lotions, always had, cream for my hands, stuff for my face. But my skin's also become more and more sensitive as I've got older. I have an allergy to sulfur. And I couldn't find products that I could put on my skin without making me itchy, which is the whole opposite point of putting cream on your skin. So I did a little bit of research, looked at the products, and I realized they contain something called sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. You'll see it on the labels. And I just had a light bulb moment and thought, maybe this is what's causing my skin to be so irritated because of my sulfur allergy. And when you live far from a city, you actually have to become quite resilient and resourceful. So there were no more products in town that I could try. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to have to start making this for myself. And I came across a lady who, she just used to slather herself in olive oil. And I thought, well, that's lovely, but I think I want something different than olive oil. So I love gardening, and I did a bit of research. I grow calendulas and all sorts of other things, roses among them. And I started realizing I can actually make my own creams. So I started making just a simple hand cream for myself. And I just wanted a bit more fragrance to it. So being a botanist, I love smells, I love plant smells. So I started looking into essential oils, and then I got into aromatherapy. And I realized that aromatherapy is not just about flowers making you feel good because they smell so nice. They actually, from a biochemical point of view, there are compounds in those essential oils which are active. They're active agents, and they're made in nature, but they have a medicinal effect on your body. They can raise your spirits. They can calm your nerves. They're incredibly healing. There's so many benefits to the essential oils. So I now started incorporating the aromatherapy with beneficial aspects, not just to make it smell nice. And all of a sudden I started noticing, my mom's got arthritis. So maybe I can make an arthritis cream for her, but it can still smell nice. So using the aromatherapy and my love of gardening and my botany and my biochem, somehow all three have come together, and it's so amazing for me because I get to be creative and I use the things that I love. And I'm also very into conservation and you know, the whole natural things. So now I get to package my things in stuff that's either recyclable or it's biodegradable, because I've been trying to recycle for years, and the whole plastic issue just, it's such a huge mountain. If I can in some small way contribute by using glass bottles or tin or paper,
Mm.
it's going to save the consumer and it's going to save the environment. And luckily we've got solar, so I also feel good about the fact that my products are made using solar power, you know. So for me, it's been a whole journey of my own values, which are, you know, be kind to the environment and also be kind to yourself.
Mm.
Why put on your skin that's not going to be good for it? So that's how my whole products have evolved, and they really are an expression of who I am. So they're very floral, they're very pretty, they're very feminine, but that's just me. So that's how I got to be where I am with them.
That sounds fantastic. Your passion for what you do really, really shines through. Now, if somebody's experiencing challenge with this with their skin, how would they know they've got an allergy? You know, how do you know the difference between, say, for example, just a dandruff, a dryness, or a real allergy that you've got?
I think when you have an allergy, if you take something out of what you're putting onto your skin and you find that the irritation or the itching or the redness goes away,
Yes.
that usually indicates an allergy. One of my biggest reasons for doing this was because I constantly had an itchy scalp, you know, anti-dandruff shampoo, sensitive shampoo. I spent 3 years making a shampoo bar so that I can actually enjoy the feeling of my head, because that irritation, it's an irritation that goes away when you take a certain thing out of your diet or what you're putting on. That's how you would say, figure out that you've got an allergy,
Okay, so
I'd
it's
say.
very much about self-awareness and then just testing, seeing what you can take away and whether that makes a difference.
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. And how long have you had the business?
I started making things in 2015. I think that was the first year that I actually started selling, because people started saying, oh, please make me a hand cream, or won't you make me this? So it started very small in 2015. And last year I was in Port Elizabeth and I did a massive explosion in the things that I make, because there was suddenly more people and suddenly much more call for creams and different things that I would not normally have made here.
Okay. And how do you normally sell your products? How do you reach your customers?
I used to have an outlet in or in Grafenest. There was a friend of mine. I used to have stuff there. Also, Grafenest's a really small town, so we would have a craft market, but everybody knows me as the Iris Lady, or everybody knows me as, oh yeah, she makes these creams. So it's easy for people to phone and just get things out that way. Then last year I moved away, as I said, we moved to PE, and I just started getting going then. And with the whole COVID closing everything down, we came back to the farm. And so now I'm branching out into the online stuff, and it's been amazing, the response that I've had from online marketing. It's just, it's something I always shied away from because I'm very non-techno, as I think you realized. So the whole internet marketing is just so far from me, but it's the way to go. You know, it's safer, it's easier for people who are stuck at home, and it's just amazing. A lot of people are buying into it. There's more opportunity. People are happy to buy online. So it's really revolutionizing my business sales. So
That's
yeah,
such
it's
an
been a huge.
that's such an inspiring story for people who are watching, because I know there are lots of entrepreneurs who are not techno savvy who are like, well, this is not for me. I'm afraid of it. I can't do this. To hear from you who feels the same way, that it's actually unlocking things for you. And
It's
which online platforms are you using?
Well, in the Karoo, there's something called the Online Karoo Farmers Market, OKFM, which is run by a lady in Craddock. She's been amazing. She just sent out a letter and said, if you're interested, let me know. And I've just sent her photographs and some samples, and she's done all the legwork. It's wonderful. Then
Okay.
there's Artisan in Cape Town. And I think for me, that's been the nicest thing, is that there are people out there who want to help you sell your product, which I don't think was the case before COVID. And so that's helped people like me who are so afraid of techno and not knowing what to do and pressing the wrong buttons, to have people out in your community saying, we want your stuff, we really want to help you sell. And that's been really, really good for me. And I think for anyone who's at home and wanting to start a business, look in your field, look in the, whether it's a market sort of orientated thing or whatever it is, there are people out there who are going to help you. They're going to help you with the logistics, with the marketing, with all that kind of stuff. They put together little videos on, this is how you put up a picture, for real people like me who don't understand. So there's a lot of help out there, which is fantastic.
So where's your favorite what's your favorite way of looking for help online? Do you watch lots of YouTube videos? Do you talk to people?
I've started watching YouTube videos. I have a very good friend in Grafenet who does a lot of surfing the net, and she sends me links. So I suppose I rely on her a lot. She has a business called Plasticity, and she's done incredibly well with it. So she's pointed me in a lot of directions. But I struggle to find time to be on the internet because I'd much rather be out there and outside and making things. So
Yes.
I look on Pinterest a lot. I find a lot of stuff on Pinterest too. So
Okay.
I think YouTube videos are very good though.
Okay. And what does an average day at work look like for you?
Okay, so I'm a farmer's wife. I'm a homeschooling mom. Yeah, my average day, I will get up really quite early, and then I'll try and organize everything so that the housekeeping side of life is done. I know what we're doing for lunch because most of it's getting organized. Then I'll make sure that my son's homeschooling is, try to get that going by 9 o'clock. So between 9 and 12, he's on track. And in between, I'll do little bits for myself, but basically the afternoons is when I work most. And I think all my life, the afternoons have been my creative time, because at school, you're at school in the morning, but in the afternoon, that's when you can go and play. So my brain is very wired for playing in the afternoon. So I try to get all the duty things done in the morning so that in the afternoon, I can just have my time and do my making, do my finding new recipes, do trying out new things, growing different things. Yeah, I suppose that's it.
Love that. I love that you have a sense of playfulness about your work. That's amazing. I know a lot of people in office jobs don't feel that way, so you're very, very lucky. And
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do.
and what's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, I love trying new things. I love experimenting. I love coming up with a new cream. Somebody's got a problem. I just love trying to design something, because I do bespoke things. And I find that a real challenge. I love sort of researching things. Somebody needed a body oil high in omega-3s. So I did a whole lot of research on that. And then where can I get these oils and how to combine them, and making 4 or 5 different samples for her to see which one she liked. I love the designing part of it. I think
Okay.
that's my favorite bit. Yeah.
I find
Yeah.
it very interesting that you'll do a bespoke service. That must be amazing, because we've all got different bodies that respond in very different ways. So that's a lovely service to offer to people. Is it not quite complicated to come up with a recipe, especially for somebody?
It depends on what the issue is. When you've got conditions that are fairly common, like eczema or psoriasis, there are lots of different ways of dealing with it, or neuralgia. And it's nice to have a person to try it out on, to have somebody who says, look, I've got neuralgia, I'll do anything. And then I love the research side, so I can send them 4 or 5 different creams or oils and get their feedback. So it takes time. It can take 6 months to get a product that somebody's happy with. But for me, the whole journey is just lovely. I get so much out of not just the research, but out of helping somebody. I enjoy the fact that maybe we're healing something, and maybe it can apply to more people. Like that little arthritis cream that I made for my mum. I think we tried 4 or 5 different recipes. And so many people come back to it again and again and again. So it does take time, but it's worth it at the end of the day, I feel. For me, it's what makes me tick.
Your story is so inspiring. Your passion just gushes out of you. It's gorgeous. So if you had to speak to somebody who's thinking about starting their own business, what advice would you give to them?
I would say have the courage of your convictions. I think it's taken me a long time to have the self-confidence to go out on a limb like this. You know, it would have been very easy to just keep it all at home and just make my creams for me and just, but I think if you have the ability to create something, go on and share it. Have just believe in yourself, really. And I think we all struggle with that. We all struggle with, but I made it. Is it really going to be that worthwhile? Go for it. You never know who is going to pick it up and say, I've been looking for this all my life. This has just revolutionized my life. And so many people have come to me and said, oh, your hot flush cream has just changed my life, Or I love that I get so much positive feedback. So why can't you? Why won't your idea of other people's worlds a better place to be, And just go for it.
I love that. I
Just
love that. Do you help a lot of menopausal women?
yeah, I think so. I went into perimenopause quite early, so I was ahead of my friends. Yeah, it's not fun, and
Yes.
I've been there, done that. So yeah, I do. I have quite a few people who, yeah,
So,
going through
so,
the whole.
so the reason I ask that is because I recently went through it, and I found that the information online is rather overwhelming. They give you lists and lists of symptoms, and you kind of got all of them, and you really don't know what's happening to your body, and there seems to be very little help. You kind of go to a doctor and they say, okay, you're menopausal, and then you've got to go home and figure out what to do with that.
You've got to live with it, basically. Bye bye.
Yes.
Yes, I think with menopause, you've actually got to step back and say, this is one time in my life where I've got to really listen to my own body and take care of me. You're going to have hot flushes, which especially the people who've never experienced it before. So you have to actually say, wow, I'm actually feeling terrible. Do you mind? I'm just going to take everything off. I'm going to spray myself with my hot flush. And I mean, it's just, I climb into bed and it's freezing cold. And I just want to rip all the bedclothes off. Sorry. Shh, shh. These are needy dogs. And I think you just have to be honest with everyone and say, I'm going through a hard time, but be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. If you need to go and have a shower, go and have a shower. If you're actually feeling like you want to curl up with a book, because it messes with your emotions and it makes you so, so tired. I wasn't sure how tired I was going to be. And you've actually just got to take stock of where you're at and listen to your body and say, wow, I actually need to eat 3 bananas, even though people will think I'm a pig. I just crave bananas. They're high in potassium. So your eating patterns change. And I think we need to realize that it's a part of normal life. It's not, just some weird thing that we need to talk about. It's real and it's horrible. So do everything you can to make it easier for you, to be kind to you. That's my only advice. And there's lots of conflicting stuff. I think what you have to do is read what's out there and choose what works for you. Take what works for you. Whether it's or meditating or going out with your friends because you just need to go and have a laugh. But I think the important thing is to tune into what does my body need and what does my head need, because everybody's menopausal experience is different. And I think we just need to accept that it's a hard time in a woman's life in on many levels. It just is.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, that everybody has a different experience. And I think maybe that's why the information out there is so conflicting. So do you have any creams that you will recommend for ladies with menopause?
I make a hot flush spray.
Okay.
Which, and the other, I make a cream, the very, very first cream I ever made. It's just a rose and neroli hand cream, and I want to make it into a body lotion. That's on my list of things to do. And it helps to balance, it balances your hormones, it balances your mood, it calms you down if you're feeling stressy, and it actually lifts you if you're feeling miserable. And that's my go-to cream for everything, actually.
And wouldn't your omega-3 cream also work?
Definitely, that omega-3 body oil will definitely help because it boosts your omega-3. So it's very new. I've only started making it in the last 6 weeks. Sorry. Shh. We have a Great Dane as well. So it's very new, but it's definitely something to put on. Just hang on a second. Shush.
Oh, Rachel, thank you so much for adding that really rich and useful information for all the women out there who are struggling with their hot flushes. So if anybody is trying to find your products and trying to reach you online, where will we look for you?
Well, the first place to look is on Rachel's Garden on the Facebook page. I'm also on Artisans, the Cape Town Artisans, and online Karoo Farmers Market. And I will be going on to Shopstar before the end of July. That is a promise to myself and a promise to you.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I appreciate your time so very much.
You're very welcome. And